Hey everyone, and welcome. So, have you ever tried to learn a new language only to just get stuck and frustrated? Well, if that's you, you're in the right place. Today we're breaking down Barry Farber's classic system from his book, How to Learn Any Language. And trust me, it's a method that promises to turn that learning chore into a real adventure. So, let's dive in. Farber kicks off his book with this old joke. And if we're being honest, it kind of stings a little bit, doesn't it? Because for a lot of us, it feels true. It just perfectly captures this widespread frustration that we are going to tackle head on.
And how about this one? Does this sound familiar? I mean, this has got to be the number one complaint, right? You spend years in classes, you memorize all these verb charts, and then when it really counts, in the real world, poof, nothing. It's this joyless, self-defeating cycle that makes you think, well, I guess I'm just not a language person.
So let's talk about that. The core problem. Why do these old methods fail us so often? Well, Farber argues it's because they feel like punishment. They force you to go through these brutal grammar drills right from the start, which just completely kills your enthusiasm before you even get a chance to fall in love with the language itself. But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? This is where Farber drops his totally radical mindset shift, something he calls dessert before dinner. So I want you to forget everything you've been told about suffering through the boring stuff first. His idea is simple. You can and you absolutely should start with the fun part. And this quote just nails it. The whole philosophy is, find what excites you about the language. Maybe it's the music, the movies, actually talking to people, and you let that motivation pull you through the grammar instead of letting grammar push you away. See? It totally flips the script. So how do we actually do this? Well, Farber's system is built on three really powerful pillars. We're going to start with how to attack the language from all sides. Then we'll learn how to find time you never even knew you had. And finally, we'll uncover a memory trick that honestly feels like pure magic. Let's break down that first one. All right, pillar number one, the multiple track attack. The whole idea here is to completely throw away the notion that one single textbook is going to be enough. Nope. Instead, Farber says you need to surround the language, basically attack it from every possible angle, all at the same time. And this is your arsenal. Think of these as your weapons. Farber says you need to get one of each of these. A basic textbook for the grammar, a dictionary, a phrasebook for real-world stuff, flashcards, an audio course to train your ear, and something real like a newspaper or a magazine. Every single tool has its own unique job. And here's the difference. The old way is that slow, lonely march with a single book. It's discouraging. But Farber's way creates what he calls a marvelous synergistic energy. A word you see on a flashcard suddenly pops up in a news article, and then you hear it in your audio course. Your brain doesn't see it as a stranger anymore. It embraces it like an old friend, and it sticks. Okay, so now you've got your tools, but where do you find the time? That brings us to pillar two, harnessing hidden moments. And this is just a brilliant strategy for finding learning time you swear you didn't have. I absolutely love this metaphor. It's not about trying to magically clear 3 hours in your schedule. No, it's about reclaiming all those little scraps of time that every single one of us spills during the day. I mean, really think about it. All those little moments, waiting in line, your commute, being on hold, they all add up to this huge, untapped resource for learning. These aren't wasted minutes anymore. They're golden opportunities. So where are these moments? Okay, think about waiting for an elevator. It's what, 15 seconds? Seems like nothing, right? Or how about standing in line at the bank for a few minutes? Once you actually start looking for them, you realize these little pockets of time are absolutely everywhere. So the key here is having the right tool ready to go. And for these little bursts of time, nothing, and I mean nothing, beats flashcards. You can review 1 or 2 words waiting for that elevator or a whole stack while you're in line. It literally transforms dead time into productive learning time. And now for the third and final pillar, which is, I have to admit, my absolute favorite, the magical memory trick. This is an incredible mnemonic system that Farber learned from the memory master Harry Lorraine, and it's designed to help you glue a new word to your memory instantly. The whole idea is actually pretty simple. Instead of just repeating a new unfamiliar word over and over again, you connect its sound to a vivid, unforgettable image using words you already know. Let's see it in action. Okay, let's take the Spanish word for old. It's viejo, and it's pronounced roughly V-E-Ho. Now, how in the world do we make that stick? Well, here's the little story you tell yourself. Picture a VA hospital, for veterans. But it's so old, so run down that the demolition crew doesn't even need dynamite. The foreman just says, it's so old we can knock it over with a simple hoe. And boom, there it is. The story gives you the sounds V plus hoe, which gives you viejo. That ridiculous, crazy image of knocking down a hospital with a garden hoe makes the word for old absolutely impossible to forget. It's a total game changer for vocabulary. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Farber's system just completely reframes the entire process. When you use all your tools at once, when you harness those hidden moments, and when you turn memorizing into a fun, creative game, learning a language stops being a chore. It finally becomes the adventure it was always supposed to be. Which leaves us with just one final question. This isn't about what language you should learn. It's about which one you want to have fun with. So, now that you're armed with these new tools, which adventure are you going to choose?